Good evening. Good evening. How is everyone doing tonight? We are live on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are joining me on the replay, please go ahead and type replay in the comments for me. Let's see. Is that Tashana? Hey, Tashana. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to get going with this Raggedy Business Report in just a little bit. You know, I like to give people a few moments to come on. Tonight is going to be a good one, real good one. Hey, Janae, thank you for tuning in. So excited about week number 6. Can y'all believe this is week number 6 of the Raggedy Business Report? I just cannot believe. Like, I don't even know where time is going. But anyway, we here. Hey, Tamasha. Hey, Kayla. How y'all doing? Ciao. We got a good Raggedy Business Report coming up tonight. Let's see. You know, I like to give people a few moments to join. Again, if you are catching this on the replay, please go ahead and type replay in the comments for me. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I am coming to you live from Houston, Texas. And it's got, like, I had to turn my heat on a couple of days. Well, last night and the past couple of days, but then I had to turn the air on today. So it's like hot and cold and I don't know what's going on, but I don't do the winters. So I can rock with 45 degrees. I can get with that as long as it gets a little warmer during the day. So, hey, Danielle, thank you for joining. Hey, Shauna, thank you for joining. You know, I like to give people a few moments to join with us. If you are catching this on the replay, go ahead and type replay in the comments for me. But if you follow me for any length of time, you will know that I am big on respecting people's time. Time is one of the most valuable gifts that people can give us because they can't get their time back. We can't get our time back. It's one of those things that once it's spent and once it's gone, it is gone. So I am not going to be before you very long. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I know a lot of us going to be tuned in to see what's going on in the country tonight anyway. So wanted to keep with the schedule and still deliver this Raggedy Business Report. So for those who are new to me or unfamiliar with me, my name is Candace Washington, also known as the Client Curator. And that is because I work with CEOs to help them sustainably scale their businesses from 6 to 7 figures. And the way that we do that is by increasing their client retention and maximizing the revenue that they're getting from every client. And so if you are not maximizing the amount of money that you're earning from each of your clients, if your clients are walking out and you have a revolving door of clients, then you are missing a lot of revenue. And so we want to figure out what the issues are and solve those issues so that you can start earning more recurring revenue and predictable revenue. That is the name of the game with sustainable businesses. And so that is what I help my clients to do. And so we are going to get into this good Raggedy Business Report. Now, the Raggedy Business Report is not necessarily to rag on businesses and say that the business as a whole is raggedy. What it is, the purpose of the Raggedy Business Report is to give you a little bit of tea on raggedy business practices and how raggedy business practices can impact your business, impact your revenue, impact your client retention, and if left unattended and left unchecked, can turn your business raggedy if you ain't careful. So we're going to get into a little bit of tea. We're going to do this here Raggedy Business Report. So if you follow me on my personal social media, this story is going to be familiar to you from almost about 2 months ago, but here it is. So a few months ago, I went on a trip with some friends, and my 2 friends, they kind of cornered me and was like, yeah, Candace, it might be time for you to get back into therapy. And I was like, okay, why y'all up in my business? Like, what is this? But no, on the real, I appreciated it. Like, I appreciated that I have friends that were not afraid to tell me, you know what, Candace, there's some things that you need to resolve so that you can continue to be the best version of yourself as you continue to go forth in life, as you are building your business and it's expanding and you're serving your clients and you're establishing new relationships. And so I wasn't offended. Like, it takes a lot to offend me. I was really grateful, right? So, and I had known, honestly, real talk, that it was probably time for me to get back into therapy anyway. known that for a while because I'm a pretty honest person about who I am and who I'm not and what I need and all of those things, right? So cool. So I immediately got on it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find me a therapist. I want a black woman. I want a woman of faith. So I started doing my research, right? So I searched around on Instagram, asked for some recommendations. I found two ladies in my area, and I went to their website to read more about them, the types of therapy that they practices, what their belief systems are, because that's important when you're deciding who to work with, especially as it relates to a therapeutic relationship. So found two ladies, and I didn't see on these two ladies' websites, I did not see a place to book a consultation. They only had options to book an appointment. And my thing was, okay, I need to talk to you first before I can decide if I want you to be my therapist or not. So I reached out to both of these therapists via their DM on Instagram. Like I said, I tried to contact them through their website, wasn't able to. And on their Instagram profiles, they encourage people to DM them, right? So I sent them a DM, didn't get a response for days. So after a couple of days, I made a comment on both of their posts. They had a post that day, like 2 days later, they had a post that day. And I made a comment saying, hey, I sent you a DM the other day. So this one therapist, she replied, and we chatted it up in the DM for a little bit. I asked her if she offered consultations before someone just actually booked an appointment with her. And she said, yes, I absolutely do. So we scheduled a consultation. So she called me the day of the consultation, and we had a good conversation. And after some other conversations, I decided that I was going to go with her. And so I reached out to her. Well, I didn't reach out to her yet. I went back to her website to now try to book an appointment. Well, I was unable to book an appointment because the links weren't working. It wasn't taking me to a scheduler or any of those things. And so I was unable to book an appointment. So I emailed her and said, hey, I would like to schedule an appointment. Can you let me know what your availability is? Because your website is not allowing me to do that. And so she told me what her availability was. And I said, okay, well, can you send me a link so that I can schedule my appointment? Her response was, oh, well, you don't need a link. I'll go ahead and put you down on my calendar. Everything is going to be good. So I'll see you Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was, at 5 o'clock. Okay, great. So she sent me some paperwork to fill out ahead of time. I filled out the paperwork. The day of the appointment came. I left the house. Now, this was during one of those tropical storms. I don't even remember the name of it, but one of those tropical storms. And so it was raining. Now, your girl works from home. So if the weather's bad and I don't have nowhere to go, I stay in the house. But I had somewhere to go, right? I had an appointment. So I get to her office, and I'm always early. I'm a very punctual individual. So I get to her office, and I'm sitting in the lobby just waiting. Didn't see anybody, but it kind of was an after hours appointment anyway. So that wasn't alarming. So I'm sitting there just waiting. And about 10 minutes after my appointment time, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and call. I called her, and she's like, hey, Candace, how are you? And I said, I'm good. Are you going to be coming out soon? And she was like, coming out? Did we have an appointment today? And I'm like, yeah, we had an appointment today for 5:30, whatever the time was. And she was just like, oh my God, I forgot, I don't have it on my calendar, and yada, yada, yada. And I said, okay. So at that time, I'm trying to calm myself down because I'm just like, okay, I didn't made an appointment with you. I didn't came out my house, drove halfway across town, and I'm here and you're not. And her response is one of the things that also kind of just didn't sit well with me. She didn't say, okay, I can be there in 20 minutes or I can be there in 30 minutes. Just hold on, I'll be there. No. Her response was, well, let me know if you'd like to reschedule at a reduced rate. At a reduced rate? Ma'am, no. If I reschedule, that needs to be complimentary because you totally just blew this appointment, right? And so I go back to my car and I'm like real hot, like just because you wasted my time. What I said at the beginning, you wasted my time, you wasted my gas, you got me out here in a tropical storm, and for what? So that is the Raggedy Business Report for this week. Now, as I always do, I want to give you some takeaways that, yes, Shauna, 38 hot. If y'all know 38 hot, if you from the South, you know what 38 hot is. So I always give you some key takeaways that you can learn from the Raggedy Business Report to make sure that you are not doing in your business, to make sure that you are not treating your clients and customers in a similar manner. Because if you are, that's why they're gonna peace out and take their business elsewhere. And hey, we don't want that. So one of the first lessons from this Raggedy Business Report is always respond in a timely manner, especially when people are communicating with you via the channels that you have established. Now, if you tell somebody to DM you, then you need to be checking your DMs on a regular basis. Now, if you have in your profile that you don't want DMs or whatever the case may be, then that may be a different story. But if you are on your page actively telling people to DM you, then you need to be responding to your DMs in a timely manner, right? So don't tell people to reach out to you via a certain channel or a certain message and you're not responsive to that communication channel that you have established as a way that you would like for people to communicate with you. So that's number one. Number two, systems are your friend. I'm a big advocate of systems because they help us run and operate these businesses. We can put a lot of things on autopilot, and automation is our friend in a lot of regards. But with those systems, you got to make sure your stuff is working properly. You got to make sure your links are updated. They're current. They're not going to be sent to a timed out page that people can actually click the link and go to where they're trying to go to via the link or the text that is provided for that link. Again, I tried to book an appointment via her website and tried to click the book now link, and it didn't take me nowhere because her links weren't set up properly. Her page wasn't set up properly. And so you need to make sure that your systems are working properly, because most people are not going to do what I did. Most people are not going to reach out and say, hey, how do I book an appointment, or how do I purchase this product, or how do I do this, or how do I do that, if your stuff isn't working. Most people are just going to move on and take their business somewhere else. And that'll be business and revenue that you've lost. So always make sure your stuff is working. The next thing, the last thing, fix stuff when you mess it up. Like, she totally blew this appointment. The right thing for her to do would have been to say, hey, I can be there in however long, or if she wasn't able to be there, get there because she forgot about the appointment, which in and of itself is unexcusable to me, but she forgot about the appointment. If she was in the middle of something else and she wasn't able to come, then the next appropriate response would be, please let me know when you'd like to come back for a session on me. Not at a reduced rate. So you want me to come back halfway across town and still pay you when you forgot our appointment? No, ma'am. I'm not giving you any of my coins. Like, you need to make this right first before I then decide if I'm going to continue to work with you and then pay you. So those are the 3 takeaways. Make sure your responses are timely, especially when people are communicating with you via your preferred and established communication channels. Systems are your friend, but make sure they are working properly. All the links and all the things. Make sure everything is operating and operational like it should be. And then when you mess up and you just drop the ball, make it right. We all are human. We all drop the ball at times. We're human. But it's how you attempt to make things right that really makes the difference. If she had said, hey, you could come back and, the first 2 sessions are on me or whatever, I might have went back to see her. But you want me to come back and pay you for something that wasn't my fault? Nah, that's not how you make it right. So I hope this was helpful to you. Hey, Julie, thank you for tuning in. Hope this was helpful to you. If you would like to learn more about how you can work with me and keep these raggedy business practices from taking root in your business, feel free to send me a DM. I promise I will respond in a timely manner. But again, my name is Candace Washington, and I'm also known as the client curator. I work with CEOs to help them sustainably scale their six-figure businesses into seven-figure corporations by increasing their client retention and maximizing the revenue that they get from every client. Let me see what comments we got. This really burns me up as an aspiring mental health professional. Thankfully, you were not in the space of harming yourself or others without this therapy. That's another point. Absolutely. Sometimes, depending upon what you do, you can't afford to make mistakes like this, because if I had been in a compromised mental state, thank God that I wasn't, but if I had been in a compromised mental state, or if I had an issue with abandonment, that could have led to a whole nother outcome. Who knows what I could have done to myself or someone else. And so again, systems are your friend. Make sure you're using systems. Make sure you are doing your level best to make sure that everything is on your calendar the way it needs to be, where it needs to be, and all of those things, because sometimes when you drop the ball, it has much larger consequences than just losing a sale. Sometimes that could mean someone being hurt or harmed, whether it's themselves or another person, depending upon what you do. So hope this was helpful to you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I can't believe this is week number 6. I appreciate y'all. Be sure to tell your friends and your mom and them and your business besties and them and some of your coaches and them that this is where they need to be on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time for this Raggedy Business Report. If you are catching this on the replay, again, I say thank you for tuning in. Please drop replay in the comments for me. Let me know your thoughts and your key takeaways. And I hope you have a good night. I will see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central for another Raggedy Business Report. And until then, remember to treat people well. Good night, y'all.